Welcome to today's video where we unpack the paradox of zero debt and why being credit invisible can quietly put your finances at risk. We'll connect the dots between living paycheck to paycheck, not having a credit profile, and how that can force costly decisions during emergencies. First, we'll outline the agenda so you know what's coming, and then we'll move into a quick disclaimer before diving into the heart of the topic. Here's the plan for today's session. We'll start with the core paradox of being debt-free yet at risk due to credit invisibility. Next, we'll cover why living paycheck to paycheck increases fragility. Then compare security-first strategies against credit building. After that, we'll prioritize emergency funds and retirement, followed by a practical, zero-interest credit-building method. We'll also learn how auto loan rates tie to credit history, how to monitor your score, and common mistakes to avoid. Finally, we'll reinforce learning with quick quizzes and finish with a concrete action plan. Now, before we proceed, let's briefly address a disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only and should not be considered individualized financial advice. Your situation may require tailored recommendations, so consider consulting a fiduciary financial advisor. With that in mind, let's transition into the core paradox of zero debt and credit invisibility. This diagram shows the paradox. Achieving a debt-free status is commendable. However, without a credit history, you become credit invisible, which limits your options and often leads to higher borrowing costs. In emergencies, the lack of access can drain cash reserves or push you toward expensive loans. Conversely, if you maintain a basic, positive credit history, you preserve access and can secure better rates. With the paradox established, let's explain why paycheck-to-paycheck living increases this vulnerability. Living paycheck to paycheck creates fragility because a single unexpected event, such as a vehicle breakdown, can force a stressful financial decision. Without a credit history, lenders have little data to price your risk favorably, so terms become expensive. That often means either draining your cash reserves or accepting high-interest products. The correct framing is that credit visibility provides optionality, while savings provide resilience. Now that we've clarified the risk, let's compare a security-first approach with credit building to understand priorities. On the left is the security-first strategy. Prioritize building an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of expenses, increase retirement contributions, keep expenses predictable, and avoid debt unless it lowers total cost and aligns with goals. On the right is the credit building approach. Open a no-fee starter credit card, use it for small recurring bills, pay in full every month to avoid interest, and monitor your score and utilization. The key is sequencing. Fortify first, then build credit. With that order in mind, let's focus on fortifying your finances. Your immediate priority, especially if you are mid-career, should be to establish an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. Simultaneously, increase retirement contributions because time in the market is critical. This dual focus builds resilience today and independence tomorrow. Next, let's quantify the emergency fund so you can set specific targets. Use this table to translate monthly expenses into concrete emergency fund targets. For example, if your monthly expenses are $2,000, your 3-month target is $6,000, and your 6-month target is $12,000. Scaling up follows the same logic. Having clear numbers simplifies planning. Now that we have targets, let's discuss how to build credit efficiently without paying interest. Here's a simple, low-cost method to build credit. First, open a no-fee, low-limit, unsecured starter card. Second, use it for small recurring charges so activity is consistent. Third, set auto pay to the full statement balance to avoid any interest. Fourth, maintain low utilization, ideally under 10% of your available credit. Fifth, avoid taking out personal loans or credit builder loans purely to create a score, because that needlessly adds interest cost. Sixth, monitor your score monthly using the free tools provided by your card issuer. To visualize how this works end-to-end, let's look at the monthly reporting flow. This sequence diagram shows the monthly cycle. You make small, essential purchases on your card. The card passes transaction data to the issuer, who then generates your statement. You pay the full balance via autopay by the due date, which eliminates interest and late fees. Finally, The issuer reports your on-time payment and utilization to the credit bureaus. Repeating this pattern for several months builds a reliable payment history and improves your credit standing. With that process clear, let's connect it to auto loans and interest rates over time. For auto loans, qualification is often possible even with thin or no credit. But the rate offered depends heavily on your payment history and utilization. Building 6 to 12 months of perfect payment history on a credit card can meaningfully reduce the APR you're offered. Therefore, focus on total borrowing cost, not merely approval.
Next, we'll look at how to monitor your score to track progress objectively.
The simplest monitoring path is to use the free credit score and report tools offered by many card issuers. Focus on core factors such as payment history, utilization, and the age of your accounts. Your goal is consistent, positive reporting over time. Now that we have the monitoring plan, let's highlight common mistakes to avoid so you can stay efficient and cost-conscious. Avoid taking loans solely to generate a score because that introduces avoidable interest expense. Carrying a balance does not improve your score beyond what on-time payments and low utilization already achieve, so paying interest is unnecessary. Watch for utilization spikes near the statement closing date, because that is when utilization is typically measured. Finally, do not neglect retirement savings while optimizing points or perks. With pitfalls identified, let's visualize a balanced monthly budget that supports both security and credit building. This pie chart illustrates a balanced monthly budget. Housing takes about 30%, essentials such as food and utilities 20%, savings and investing another 20%, debt payments 10%, discretionary spending 15%, and a 5% buffer for small surprises. This distribution supports building an emergency fund and contributing to retirement, while leaving room for strategic, low-cost credit use. Next, let's switch formats and present a quick markdown checklist you can use monthly. Here is a simple monthly checklist. Keep a no-fee starter card active. Ensure autopay is set to the full statement balance, and maintain utilization below 10% before the statement closing date. Review your free score and report each month. Add to your emergency fund, and, where possible, increase your retirement contribution percentage. Finally, audit subscriptions and trim recurring expenses. To solidify these ideas, let's test your understanding with a quick quiz.
Question: what is the most cost-efficient way to start building credit when you are debt-free and credit invisible?
Options are: A. Take a small personal loan to generate a score. B. Open a no-fee starter credit card, use it lightly, and pay in full monthly. C. Carry a balance each month to show activities. D. Get a credit builder loan and pay interest for 12 months. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Opening a no-fee starter card, using it lightly, and paying in full each month establishes positive payment history while avoiding interest. This balances cost efficiency with effective credit building.
Next, let's move to a second quick question on prioritization.
Question: if you are mid-career and living paycheck to paycheck, what should be your first priority? Options are: A. Maximize travel points with multiple new cards. B. Take out a credit builder loan for 12 months. C. Build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund and increase retirement savings.
D. Lease a new car to establish payments.
You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is C. Prioritize building an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months and increasing retirement contributions. This creates a financial safety net and leverages compounding while you build credit in the background. With fundamentals confirmed, let's summarize the key takeaways. These are the core takeaways. Being debt-free is positive, yet credit invisibility can increase costs during emergencies. Prioritize security first by building an emergency fund and increasing retirement contributions. Build credit for free by making small charges, paying in full, and keeping utilization low. For auto loans, the rate offered depends on your history, so timing your application after several months of perfect payments can reduce costs. Monitor your progress monthly and avoid paying interest unnecessarily.
With the big ideas captured, let's wrap with a concise action plan.
Here is a practical action plan. In weeks 1 to 2, open a no-fee starter card, enable auto pay to the full balance, and calculate your emergency fund target. In weeks 3 to 6, keep utilization under 10% and contribute to savings each paycheck. In weeks 6 to 12, maintain perfect payments, monitor your score, and price check loan rates if relevant. Ongoing, increase retirement contributions as your budget allows. Now, let's close with a quick thank you and a call to action.
Thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, please like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more practical money guidance. Let us know in the comments what your next step will be: building an emergency fund or opening a starter card. We appreciate your time and look forward to helping you strengthen your financial foundation.